Good afternoon, guys. It is Dan Kruger from DK Fitness, where we help people achieve their fitness and weight loss goals in fun and sustainable ways through optimized nutrition. And today I'm going to be talking to you about the top non-meat protein sources out there. So if you're vegetarian or vegan, or you're just trying to cut down on the amount of meat that you're eating, but you still want to get enough protein in, this is going to be a good list for you to know. So the first one on the list is going to be spirulina. Now this is actually cultured algae. And to be honest, it's kind of like a probiotic too, really, which is a fantastic benefit to it. So in addition to it being very high in protein and a great superfood, it's actually going to do a lot for your gut health and improve digestion as well. Typically when you get it, it's going to be kind of like a green powder, so this is something that's going to work out really nicely in a smoothie or as an ingredient in another baked good that you might be using protein powder in. So if you're making like little peanut butter protein balls or something like that, or cookies, you can add this ingredient in to get some extra protein in a non-meat or a non-dairy kind of way. The next one that's probably going to be a staple for most vegetarians out there, it's lentils and beans. Now these are going to be ridiculously cheap, so these are probably going to be the quickest and easiest protein source for those of you around the world. You can pretty much get beans anywhere. They're going to be a fantastic source of a complete protein. And when I say complete protein, I mean it's got a full spectrum of amino acids, whereas some products like bread, even though you might see a protein value on the nutritional label, it's not going to provide a complete spectrum of amino acids, and it's not a complete protein. So if you're looking to get your protein from non-meat sources, you want to be making sure that you're getting complete proteins, just like you are in beans. Now, most of you are going to recognize the fact that beans are going to be primarily a carbohydrate source. Now the fact that there's a lot of fiber coming in with those carbohydrates, that helps kind of offset that. So even though they're primarily going to be bringing carbohydrates to the table, they're going to be fiber-rich carbohydrates. They're going to digest very slowly, and you're going to get a lot of protein in along with them. So make sure those are a staple in your diet if you're trying to avoid meat products, but also want a lot of fiber and protein in the mix. The next one on the list is edamame. Now this is going to be a fantastic one as well, because you're going to be getting a quality complete protein source, and then you're also going to be getting something that kind of fulfills almost a snack food. Pretty much any store you could find frozen edamame in the little pea pods, so you can snack on those just like they bring out at sushi restaurants beforehand. So they're great for people that want to snack on something that's kind of a protein source with a lot of micronutrients in there. They're also going to be the base for a lot of protein powders as well. So very popular source for non-meat protein, and one that should be on your radar. Next one is seitan. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It looks almost like the word Satan, but it's going to be similar to tofu actually, and it's a wheat gluten. I haven't personally eaten this one, but the vegetarians that I know who utilize it do enjoy it because it's got almost like a meaty texture to it. So it's going to be great if you're whipping up stir fries. You can prepare it kind of like tofu, where you dice it up and maybe saute it with some herbs and spices and oils and things like that. But it's going to be a fantastic one to incorporate, both because it's high in protein, provides a complete protein, but has almost a meaty texture. So if you're looking to have a stir fry, this would be a fantastic choice for you to use as your main protein ingredient. So tempeh is the next one, and this one's going to be very popular because it's basically a less processed version of tofu. Essentially, if you just took some soybeans and just mashed them together really well, you're going to get tempeh. So it's like tofu, just minus a lot of the processing. So it's a little bit more pure in that sense. But again, just like tofu, fantastic source of non-meat protein. You can prepare it just like tofu, or you can season it yourself in a skillet. You just dice it up, mix it with some veggies, and it's great for a stir fry. And I believe you can also get pre-seasoned versions in the store now if you wanted to save yourself that step. But again, this one's very popular for those who are trying to find the least processed versions of their foods. And one that a lot of people tend to forget about is going to be the dark leafy fibrous greens like broccoli and spinach and things like that. Even though when you look at a nutritional label for like broccoli or spinach, you're going to see very small numbers, only a couple of calories, maybe 1 or 2 grams of protein. If you look at the amount of protein per calorie of any given serving, you're actually getting a ton of protein for the calories. So it's comparable to that of like a steak or a chicken, but you're just going to eat a ginormous pile of these vegetables to get like the 20 grams of protein that you'd get from a small piece of meat. So it's not all that advantageous from a volume perspective. No one's going to eat about a pound of fibrous vegetables. However, don't discount them as just a veggie. and toss them away as if they're just kind of roughage or maybe a source of fiber. That stuff does add up. So include that in the stir fry, include it as an element throughout your day. And you know, those little bits and pieces, those 3 and 5 grams of protein you'll pick up here and there throughout the day using the vegetables actually do help add up at the end of the day. And then the obvious one was going to be tofu. Most everybody has heard of tofu. A lot of people who aren't vegetarian or vegan kind of shy away from it. They think it's a little strange, but it's actually pretty darn good if you've ever had it and it's seasoned properly and it's prepared well. I think most people are turned off by it because maybe they've just tried a piece of it just plain. But if you were to try just a plain bite of ground beef with no seasoning or anything like that, you'd probably think it was pretty lackluster too. So if you actually go through the process of preparing a meal with tofu, just like you would with meat, it's going to come out tasting just as delicious. So you know, give it a chance. Don't pass by it at the Whole Foods salad bar. Give it a shot. It's actually got a nice texture, and when it's prepared well in a seasoned dish, it's very enjoyable. So give it a shot. Even if you're not trying to be vegan or vegetarian and you're just trying to reduce the amount of meat coming in for general health reasons, that's something you should probably look at. And obviously protein powders are going to be a staple for people who are avoiding meat, however want to get enough protein in, especially those who are athletic and in the gym working out, lifting weights, trying to put on a little bit of lean tissue. It can be a little bit of a battle to get enough protein in, as you know. So protein powders are going to be very beneficial for that, and there's plenty of tasty vegetable-based protein powders out there. My favorites are either going to be rice-based or pea protein. Those are the two that I found are the best non-dairy protein powders that don't have a lot of other carbohydrates or fats coming in, that actually taste pretty darn good. So keep your eyes open for protein powders. Those are definitely going to help fill in the blanks and get enough protein in the day. And then also chia seeds and hemp seeds are actually going to be fantastic sources of protein as well. Typically when I'm looking at ingredients like that, I look at them as more of a fat source, but the fact of the matter is they're bringing in a lot of healthy fats, but they're also bringing in a complete protein source too. So when you're whipping up your smoothies or your shakes or making your baked goods, you can toss those in as an ingredient to provide a huge micronutrient boost, as well as provide some protein. And all those little things throughout the day are really going to add up. So you don't necessarily need a big hunk of meat with every meal. You can leverage all these protein sources that I just listed and have a very comprehensive superfood based diet that does not include meat but still gets you all the protein you need and then some. So I hope this helps you guys navigate the food landscape. If you want to jump on board and get some one-on-one coaching and really dial this in once and for all, shoot me a message, dkruger@dkrugerfit.com. I'll see you guys in the next video.